Hello children, today I'll explain you the second part of chapter 5, Weathering the Storm in Assam. This chapter is written by Harsh Mender and has been taken from Moments Supplementary Reader book. In the first part of this chapter, we have seen that Prashant had reached the Red Cross shelter and had met his maternal grandma, all his family members, and his relatives. Now, in this part, by the next morning, as he took in the desperate situation in the shelter, he decided to get a grip over himself. He sensed a deathly grief settling upon the 2,500 strong crowd in the shelter. Now, what happened? That he took a round of the shelter and he found that all the men and women, they were all around 2,500 people in the shelter, they were all suffering great sorrow and deep grief because their family members had died, they had lost their houses, their belongings, and the condition of the shelter was a very desperate one. 86 lives were lost in the village, and he came to know that from his village 86 people had died in the cyclone. All the 96 houses had been washed away, and he was surprised to know that all the houses, not a single house was left, and all had washed away in the water. It was their fourth day at the shelter. So far, they had survived on green coconuts, but there were too few to go round such a tumult of people. Now there is a word tumult. Tumult means when these many people have gathered together in such a shelter, in such a situation, they are very much desperate and the children are crying and people are very much in grief and they are shouting, they are asking for things, the daily need things. So this is the meaning of tumult, that people were roaring, uproaring, and they were shouting. So, at the fourth day at the shelter, now there was a difficulty that no food was there. People had survived all these days living on the green coconuts from coconut trees that had fallen down. But now very few coconuts had left and the crowd was huge. Prashant, all of 19 years, decided to step in as leader of his village if no one else did. He organized a group of youths and elders to jointly pressurize the merchant once again to part with his rice. Now what happened that Prashant saw that no one was coming ahead to help the crowd. So what he decided that he should come ahead and he should become the leader of his village, and he was hardly 19 years old. So he made a group of youth and they all went to the merchant of the village and they all pressurized him together to give a little rice to the people of the Red Cross shelter because he had enough rice but he was not giving them in that time of need. So they all went and requested him. This time the delegation succeeded and returned triumphantly. Now there is a word delegation and another word triumphantly. Delegation means a group of people, or we can say representatives. They were representatives of their village people. And another word is triumphantly. Triumphantly means very happy, as if they have won something. After a victory, when a person enjoys or becomes very happy, this is called triumphantly. They came back very happy, wading through the receding waters with food for the entire shelter. And because all around water was there, so they came through the water and they brought rice to the people of the shelter. No one cared that the rice was already rotting. Branches from fallen trees were gathered to light a reluctant and slow fire on which to cook the rice. So the rice they had brought was already started rotting. It was getting destroyed because it was kept in the stores for a long time and because of heavy rain, it started rotting. Now, people of the shelter had gathered some fallen branches of the fallen trees and they had light a fire. That fire was very slow, very reluctant, means as if the branches or the wood was declined to be lit. And they started cooking the rice. For the first time in 4 days, the survivors at the cyclone shelter were able to fill their bellies, and it was only after 4 days of the cyclone that the people of the shelter could fill their stomachs with rice. His next task was to organize a team of youth volunteers to clean the shelter of filth, urine, vomit, and floating carcasses, and to tend to the wounds and fractures of the many who had been injured. Now, after filling their stomachs, the next step of Prashant was to organize the youth and to clean the shelter, because all around dirt and filth was there now, and these things were going to cause a number of diseases among the people of the shelter. Now, the second most important thing was to clean the all around the surrounding areas of the shelter, and those who got wounded, those who got fractured, they were to be taken care of. On the fifth day, a military helicopter flew over the shelter and dropped some food parcels. It then did not return. So what happened that the next day, a military helicopter came and it had dropped some food packets, but after that it did not come back, and the food that they had dropped was not enough for 2,500 people in the shelter. The task force gathered empty utensils from the shelter. Then they deputed the children to lie in the sand left by the waters around the shelter with these utensils on their stomachs to communicate to the passing helicopters that they were hungry. Now, because the people in the helicopters were not understanding that what is the situation in the Red Cross shelter. So just to communicate them, just to let them know that what is the reality in the shelter, all the youth gathered and they collected all the empty utensils from the shelter, and these utensils were kept on the stomachs of the children, and children were laid down upon the sand so that the passing helicopters would understand that the people in the shelter or in this area are hungry and they want food, and they will bring more food to them. The message got through, and after that the helicopter made regular rounds of the shelter, airdropping food and other basic needs. By doing this, Prashant and his team was successful because the helicopters got the message, and they came many times and had dropped number of food parcels and other things of their basic requirements. Prashant found that a large number of children had been orphaned. He brought them together and put up a polythene sheet shelter for them. Women were mobilized to look after them while the men secured food and materials for the shelter. Now, the next step was to find out that how many children were there in the shelter who had lost their parents. Those orphan children were brought together by Prashant, and he put them in a separate shelter, made a tent out of a polythene sheet and put all those children inside that shelter, and asked all the women of the shelter to cook food for them and look after them. And he then organized men to collect or to arrange for the things that were required in the shelter. In this way, Prashant started doing everything in a very organized manner. As the weeks passed, Prashant was quick to recognize that the women and children were sinking deeper and deeper in their grief. After some weeks, Prashant found that all the women and the children in the shelter were becoming sad day by day. They were becoming more and more sad day by day. He persuaded the women to start working in the Food for Work program started by an NGO, and for the children he organized sports events. And now Prashant decided that he had to do something for these women and children because he wanted to remove their sorrow. He wanted to bring them out of their grieved situation. So, what he did, he collected all the women and asked them to work in the Food for Work program, which was started by an NGO, that they will work and cook food for all such people who were the victims of the cyclone, and collected all the children and decided that he would organize some sports for them so that they will become happy and they will forget their loss of the things and parents. He himself loved to play cricket, and so he organized cricket matches for children. Prashant engaged with other volunteers in helping the widows and children to pick up the broken pieces of their lives. Pick up the broken pieces of their lives means whatever was left. He wanted that they should start living with those things or those relations only. What is lost is lost. What is gone can never be got back. But what he wanted, that whatever is left, whatever relations are left, people should start living with all those things and relations. So he collected all the volunteers, all the youth volunteers, and he started helping all the widows of the shelter and the children to start living happily in the shelter with all other people. The initial government plan was to set up institutions for orphans and widows. However, this step was successfully resisted, and as it was felt that in such institutions children would grow up without love. So, for this thing, government had started up with a plan, and the plan was to collect all the orphans and all the women, all the widows, and to put them in a separate institution. But all the people resisted. They said no to this plan because they thought that by doing this, all the widows, they will become more lonely, and all the children who were orphans, they will also become lonely without their parents, because the children will not be having parents. They will only be orphan children in such institutions and only be widows in such institutions. So this plan was resisted because people did not want them to live all alone. Widows would suffer from stigma and loneliness. Now here is the word stigma, which means dishonor. Dishonor of losing their parents or shame of losing their husbands. Prashant's group believed orphans should be resettled in their own community itself, possibly in new foster families. Foster family means those families where parents will take care of those children who are orphans along with their own children. So instead of taking care only of their own children, they will start taking care of one or two orphan children of such community in which number of children had lost their parents in the cyclone. Possibly in new foster families made up of childless widows and children without adult care. So what happened, that he brought up all the widows and parentless children, all the orphan children. In this way, the widows got children and the children got the care of parents. It is 6 months after the devastation of the super cyclone. This time, Prashant's wounded spirit had healed simply because he had no time to bother about his own pain. His handsome youthful face is what the widows and orphaned children of his village seek out most in their darkest hour of grief. And now, the author says that even after 6 months of the cyclone, now Prashant is not able to think about his own sorrow, his own loss, like he lost his house, he lost all the belongings of his house, and his family too had suffered a lot. But he stopped thinking about himself and started thinking about the whole community who was the victim of the cyclone. So in this way, all his wounds had healed up because he started caring about others' pains. And now, the widows and the orphan children of his community or his village love him the most. He is the only person whom they want to see, and after seeing him, they become very relaxed and very happy whenever they are sad. So in this way, we see that Prashant comes up like a great help to his own community, and he forgot about his own pain, forgot about his own troubles, forgot about his own sufferings of the cyclone, and he started helping all other people. By doing this, he did not even help others, he did not even help his villagers, but he helped himself because he got love of the whole people of his village.